It's the Dayton Bulldogs against the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks, your boys' State B championship game coming up in just a few minutes. And when you talk about the Dayton Bulldogs, perhaps the most talented athlete on their roster is number 33, Will Hutchins. He's a 6'3 senior, and Ty at 22 points a ball game. He can do it all.
He's a big chunk of their offense, but the one thing that Coach Weber says, talking about Coach Jay Weber, is that this kid not only does it on the offensive end, he does it at the defensive end, he offensive rebounds, he defensive rebounds. He is an all-around player.
He can play as a guard, he can play as a forward, he can post up for you. Certainly Will Hutchins, an all-tournament selection a year ago, will again be an all-tournament selection this year. The man inside for Toutle Lake is Nick Andrew. He's 6'5". He averages nearly 19 points a ball game.
Definitely the cornerstone of the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks. 16 points a game roughly and 8 rebounds a game. A balanced attack though for Toutle Lake, as you have 3 players in double figures and 1 right on the cusp of being in double figures, whereas Dayton has the one go-to guy in Will Hutchins.
Certainly a concern for Dayton head coach Jay Weber is the health of that young man. Jeff Skeeter, he injured an ankle in last night's semifinal. He has been icing his ankle since then, and just a few minutes ago he was back in the locker room icing the ankle. They are hoping to get him into the ball game, but right now he is not continuing in the warm-ups, and he has found a seat on the bench.
Dan, we're talking 10 points a game right there. Will be hard to replace if Skeeter cannot play.
And there you see how Dayton, the Bulldogs, successful trip on the road to State B, opening with a trouncing of Naysal 60-30, then a close ball game with Pateros, and then the win last night in the semifinals over the Adna Pirates.
And for the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks, they were 12 better than Garfield-Palouse in their opening game, and they destroyed Summit 86-52 in the quarterfinals. And a great game last night, Dan. The Toutle Lake Sprague Harrington game, Toutle Lake winning 67-65. Ryan Floyd with a shot at the buzzer that didn't go in. Toutle Lake advances to this game with a 2-point victory.
And again, Ty, we've got an East versus West matchup. Toutle Lake, the #1 seed out of the Southwest District, and Dayton, the #1 seed out of the Southeast District.
So call it Civil War, if you will, I guess, to an extent. But it should be a good game, East-West. But these two teams, very similar. And we better have our mouths in order. We're going to be doing a lot of talking, I think, in this one.
Talking with Toutle Lake head coach Eric Swanson before the ball game. He's in his 5th year as the head coach of the Fighting Ducks. He's very confident. He says the team has played well so far in the tournament. No real surprises offensively or defensively, and he thinks really that his team is poised for a strong ball game.
And they do have experience in this tournament. Last year they finished 4th, and you know this year they want to walk away with all the hardware.
Their only loss this season with a record of 25-1 was against Adna, of course the team that was in the semifinals last night. For the Dayton Bulldogs, a record of 27-1, and their only loss, the team here locally, they lost to Reardon earlier in the year. However, that is when many of the players on the team were off playing football.
Yeah, we can dismiss that. They did win a championship at that.
We have not mentioned this is a rematch of the B11 King Bowl championship game between Dayton and Toutle Lake back in December, and that football game won by the Dayton Bulldogs. So will it be a clean sweep for the Bulldogs, or will the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks break through with a championship? We'll find out in just a couple of minutes. The State B Boys Championship game is coming right up. Welcome back to the old Boone Street Bar. This will be the final basketball game to be played here in the Coliseum as the State B tournament moves to the new Veterans Memorial Arena next season. And boy, talk about convenience next year. It'll be nice. We'll have both the boys and girls games side by side for the tournament, so you won't have to make that trip out to Spokane
Falls anymore. And it will also be nice for the fans, I think, because they'll be able to move about more freely and see more basketball in general.
Yeah, both teams coming into this ball game red hot. Dayton is working on a 26-game winning streak. Toutle Lake is working on an 11-game winning streak. We're ready for the introductions of both teams, and for that we go to public address announcer John Miller.
Boys Championship of the State B Basketball Tournament of 1995. Gentlemen, would you please assume your positions on the floor? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the participants in this evening's championship game. And let's first meet the team from Dayton, the Dayton Bulldogs. Introducing the reserves, number 11, Tom Howard. Number 13, Bud Lioness. Number 15, Clay Hutchins. Number 23, John Skidmore. Number 25, Justin Steinhoff. Number 31, Jeff Skeeter. Number 43, Robert Carlton. The starters for the Bulldogs, Ryan Rundle, number 21. Will Hutchins, co-captain, number 33. Number 35, Mike Gambala. Matt Talbot, co-captain, number 41. Jeremy Hubbard, number 45. The coach of the Dayton Bulldogs, Jay Weber. Assistant coach, Terry Neely. Assistant coach, Tony Calero. Manager, Harvey Fletcher. Manager, Justin Ingram. Manager, Andrew Hudson. And the Bulldogs trainer, Terry St. Marie. Now the home team on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks. First, the reserves. Number 10, Jeff Hayden. Number 14, Damian Bryan. Number 30, Buck Smith. Number 32, Jeff Stottinger. Number 41, Travis Sparks. Number 44, Wes Shafron. Now the starters for the Fighting Ducks, Chris Wheatley, number 4. Kevin Gravenhorst, number 5. Greg Gilbonin, number 22. Gary Wick, number 23. Nick Andrew, captain, number 42. The coach of the Fighting Ducks, Eric Swanson. Assistant coach, Scott Gravenhorst. The manager, Ken Preston. The officials for game number 26, Dwayne Baruso and Steve Brown. Gentlemen, step forward, shake hands with your opponents, and have a wonderful day.
John Miller. We are ready to go, and hold on to your seats, folks. This is going to be a dandy of a basketball game. The Dayton Bulldogs, the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks. It should be wide open.
Up and down the floor. Take a deep breath in. Get ready for some basketball.
I couldn't help but thinking, looking at the introduction of Nick Andrew, the big man inside for Toutle Lake, that these guys wouldn't mind playing another football rematch.
No. You think these guys like each other? I don't know.
Again, Dayton won that V11 football championship game back in December in the King Bowl, and Toutle Lake would like a piece of their own championship tonight.
Fighting Ducks, fighting mad.
Neither team had played in a semifinal. Of course, neither team now has never played in a State B final. Next year, Dayton will be moving up to the State A level, so this will be their final appearance at the State B tournaments. Hutchins against Andrew, and Andrew wins the tip, and quickly they come out and almost take out one of our cameramen. That's Jeff Height.
Boy, that...
You got to be awake out there, guys, because it's going to be...
Jeff standing his ground, or sitting his ground, I should say.
Toutle Lake basketball just underway here. The boys' State B championship game. Glad you could be with us. Dan Kleckner and Ty Ray at courtside. And here we go. Nick Andrew puts it up. Shot doesn't miss. Here comes Dayton.
Boy, that Hutchins gets up the floor in a hurry.
Toutle Lake with the basketball. Chris Wheatley at the controls for the Fighting Ducks. Gary Wick. Grabenhorst at the point. Averages about 17 points a ball game. He will put it up from anywhere. He likes that spot where he is right now on the floor. Kilpinen. Gary Wick is number 23. Stolen by Dayton. Will Hutchins with the steal, and here comes Hutchins with the basketball. And he'll fire it up. And
he's not shy.
Nothing there. Chris Wheatley on the rebound, and here come the Fighting Ducks. Gary Wick open momentarily in the wing, then they get it to Wick. Grabenhorst sets and fires and gets it.
Nothing but twine.
Kevin Grabenhorst averaging about 17 points a ball game, and Toutle Lake first on the board, 3-0 Fighting Ducks. Hutchins sets and fires. Such great form from Will Hutchins.
Money.
3-2, the Fighting Ducks by 1. Gary Wick. Back out to Grabenhorst. Nick Andrew. Boy, he is a bruiser. He'll set and fire from 15, and he gets it. Nick Andrews, 6'5" senior. He averages about 19 points a ball game. He is the leading scorer for head coach Eric Swanson.
Not a whole lot Jeremy Hubbard could do on that play, but watch that ball go in the hoop.
Along the baseline, 35, Mike Gimbala, and the follow through. Hutchins is there. Jeff Skeeter set to come in for Dayton on that sore ankle. We'll see how he plays. But Andrew again fires from about 10.
Got to get a hand in his face.
Rundell down low to Gimbala, nothing there. And Andrew playing well at both ends.
Like dominating the paint, Andrew there.
7-4, first couple of minutes, Toutle Lake on top by 3. Nick Andrew puts it up, whistle of a foul. And it looks to be on number 45, Jeremy Hubbard of Dayton.
That 4-inch size advantage already coming into play for Toutle Lake. Andrew getting the ball down low, and there's not a whole lot Hubbard can do on the play except throw up his hands and make contact.
And into the ball game, Ty, is Jeff Skeeter. One of the key ingredients to the success of this Dayton ball club. We'll see how that sore ankle reacts.
He's got all spring to rest.
Well, he twisted it last night, sprained it last night, did return momentarily for just a bit in the second quarter, but then sat out the rest of the ball game. We'll see how Jeff Skeeter, number 31, reacts to the sprained ankle. Up court quickly.
Already 6 points for Nick Andrews.
Stolen by Grabenhorst. Grabenhorst pulls up, stolen, and Toutle Lake gets it right back. Gravenhorst for three. No, off the front. Hutchins had it and finally controlled by Dayton. Tolbert. Work it back out. Ryan Rundell, no. Mike Gambala, number 35 with the basketball for the Dayton Bulldogs. Skeeter, his first shot, boy, that's got to be a...
He wasted no time.
That'll get your ankle healed up in a hurry, huh?
Nothing like hitting your first shot.
Toutle Lake up by 3, 9-6. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. From the quarter, it's Andrew, no. And we've got a whistle and a foul on number 22, Greg Kilbinen, over the back.
Well, Andrew likes to shoot the ball from about everywhere.
First foul on Greg Kilpinen.
That's a good call.
9-6, the Fighting Ducks up by 3. Number 1 team out of the Southwest District. Bud Lyonnais set to come in for Dayton. Shot rims out. Toutle Lake can increase the lead. Clay Hutchins also set to come in for Dayton. Back out of the corner, Gary Wick. Nothing there along the baseline. Rundell. And there is Hutchins.
They're wasting no time getting up and down the floor.
I tell you, I haven't seen Nick Andrew play a lot of basketball games, but I like him already. The kid is just a bruiser. There he is with the basketball. Goes up strong against Hutchins, and Hutchins says, "Get out of my neighborhood." Quickly up court, and they throw it away. Rundell had a man open, but he couldn't get it to him. But this is going to be fun to see. Will Hutchins and Nick Andrew going all night long down in the paint.
Coach Weber said that Hutchins could do everything, and it's evident early on here, hitting the jump shots, and with a nice play there at the defensive end with the swat. Nick Andrew.
Bud Lyonnais into the ball game, along with Clay Hutchins for the Dayton Bulldogs. Ranked 4th in the state. Toutle Lake, the 5th ranked team. Right now, it's Toutle Lake by 3. One of these teams hoping to join Wishka Valley in the championship bracket. 47-34 was our girls' final. Wishka Valley over Tico Oakstead. Stolen by Hutchins. And the Bulldogs got something going. Clay Hutchins, the younger brother of Will. He's only a sophomore with the basketball. Nice pass down low to Lyonnais.
Nice pass. Lyonnais streaking into the middle of the paint there for the easy 2.
That pulls the Dayton Bulldogs to within 1 point at 9-8 with 2:22 to be exact left to go in the first quarter.
Now we're talking about how Will Hutchins can do everything already. We're 2:22 left in the first quarter, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. That's a game for some people.
As we look in on the Dayton bench, boy, a couple of things for Jay Weber he's got to be pleased with. Number 1 is that Jeff Skeeter appears to be okay with that ankle.
That was evident on his first shot.
Here is Nick Andrew going up strong, but Hutchins says, not this time.
It ain't happening. Oh, he can get up there.
Another look at it. Will Hutchins going up strong. Boy, Will Hutchins, 6'3", actually plays to about a 6'5" player. I mean, the young man has got some springs in his legs.
He can get up pretty high, that's for sure. And little bro not looking too bad himself early on, Clay.
Dayton Bulldogs beat Adna last night in the semifinals, 53-44. Toutle Lake a winner in the semifinals over Sprague Harrington, 67-65.
What a game that was.
Wonderful basketball game. Right here, it's Toutle Lake by 1. Dayton brings the pressure. And Toutle Lake able to break it. Gary Wick. Oh, nice passing by the Fighting Ducks, and they get the bounce. Greg Kilpinen gives the Fighting Ducks, you know I'm going to call them the Mighty Ducks before the game. I might as well get them. Let's just...
This isn't hockey, Dan.
Right to the hoop is number 35, Mike Kimbala, the sophomore. pulls Dayton to within 1, 11-10.
Skeeter looking pretty nimble there on his ankle.
Into the ball game for the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks, Jeff Hayden, replacing Chris Wheatley. Jeff Hayden, a strong player off the bench for head coach Eric Swanson, averages about 7 points a ball game. And into the ball game for the Dayton Bulldogs, their quarterback, Matt Talbert, he was the quarterback on that B11 championship football game in December.
That's the one thing about this Dayton ball club, talented on many levels.
Gary Wick in the corner, back to Andrew. Andrew's got 2 more, and it's a 3-point lead for Toutle Lake, 13-10. Hutchins, turnaround. Not there. But he is there defensively. Is the younger Hutchins. Wanted the call, doesn't get it.
Not liking that.
Thirteen to 10, Toutle Lake by 3. This is it. This is the final game of the season here in the old Boone Street Barn. Andrew just about gets taken down.
I think he wanted a foul.
Hutchins, back to Hutchins. Nice play.
Nice give and go.
Bulldogs can move up the court in a hurry.
Brother to brother.
Cuts the Toutle Lake lead down to 1. Again, another steal by Dayton. Talbot could not convert.
Look at Hutchins get back on D.
Boy, that's a sweet shot there by Gary Wick over Will Hutchins.
Boy, it didn't matter. Hutchins hustled out of backcourt to force him to make that great shot.
Toutle Lake up by 3. Final 25 seconds of the first quarter. Skeeter, it's amazing to me he can move it all on that ankle. If you could see him, if you could have seen him walking back in the locker room, I mean, he was in a lot of pain. But right now, able to move pretty well.
Like you said, right, when you said there's something about a championship game that makes the pain go away.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Toutle Lake looking for the final shot. They won't get it off. They do get it off, but it won't draw. And after 1, the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks take a 3-point lead into the second quarter over the Dayton Bulldogs, 15-12. More basketball coming right up on Q6. After the first 8 minutes of action, it's Toutle Lake with a 3-point lead as we start the second quarter, 15-12.
Dan, as advertised, up and down the floor, Nick Andrew doing it on the end for Dayton, and Will Hutchins doing it for Dayton. Nick Andrew doing it for Toutle Lake.
This is Clay Hutchins, the younger brother. He's only a sophomore, good basketball player at the point for head coach Jay Weber. Ryan Hayes. Shot goes down for number 41. Matt Talbert, the quarterback. We're knotted at 15. Fighting Ducks go right to the iron and they get the whistle. Gary Wick driving down the lane, picks up the foul on number 13, I believe. No, didn't catch that. Is it Hutchins?
It was on Lyonnaise, I think. No.
Clay Hutchins will come out of the ball game. Replaced by Will Hutchins. So Will gets to sit out 31 seconds. That may be all. He'll sit down for the rest of the ball game as Gary Wick goes to the line.
He looks in pretty good shape, that's for sure.
Gary Wick, a 5'10 senior, averages about 9 points a ball game for head coach Eric Swanson. That one too strong, and out comes the Dayton Bulldogs. Hutchins, you can't let him have a shot from anywhere. I mean, he'll put it up.
That's for sure.
Nice hustle, but no go for the Dayton Bulldogs.
Tough break for Jeremy Hubbard.
Gary Wick again, sidesteps in for 2.
Nice move off the glass.
Gary Wick gives the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks a 3-point lead at 18-15.
pace slowed down somewhat since the first quarter.
You'll notice there are 2 3-point stripes. One is the further one is the one that we're used for NBA games. So, you know, all the NBA games they have here in the Coliseum, they have to have a 3-point stripe. But the closer one is the one that they use for high school and college at 19 feet 9 inches. Nice passing. They set it up for Hutchins, and he buries it.
That was nearly an NBA three.
Nearly. They ought to give him 4 points, but he only counts for 3, and we're knotted again, 18-18. Andrew, nice bounce pass down the lane, nothing there. Kilpinen puts it back in.
Boy, that big guy, Nick Andrew, can do it all. Rebound, shoot, and pass. Great pass.
Hubbard.
Jeremy showing some touch from about the free throw line.
Tied up again, 20-20. 2 number 1 seeds going at it.
37 wins in a row between them.
Kilpinen back out to Wick. Wick in the corner. Kilpinen. Gravenhorst short. Bulldogs on the move. Lyonnaise. They'll reset it. Lyonnaise underneath, scoop pass to Hutchins. Hutchins will put it up.
You're right, Dan. He plays bigger than what he actually is.
He does. 6'3", but he can match up with anybody, especially on the state B level. He's quite a player. And the pressure on Jeff Hayden. Rundell with the pressure, back out to Kilpinen. Won't go down.
Dan, Dayton with their first lead in the ball game.
At 22-20. 4:20 left to go before halftime. Talbot thought about it. Ryan Rundell in the wing.
He's going to launch.
Yes, he will. And he's off a little bit on that one. Rebound to Toutle Lake. Andrews. Nick Andrews. Hayden looking for the reverse layup. Not there. Bulldogs out and running. We got Lyonnaise on the wing. This is Rundell.
Track star getting up the court in a hurry.
And Gravenhorst looking to pass to Kilpinen, and Kilpinen says, oh,
little miscommunication.
Jeff Skeeter back into the ball game for the Dayton Bulldogs. Jeremy Hubbard will sit down along with Matt Talbot. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 3:34 left to go before halftime. It's a 2-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs. More Stately Boys Championship basketball right after this. Well, so far it has been a shootout in the old barn. Dayton at 45%, and Toutle Lake at a whopping 53%, Ty.
Will Hutchins 45%, Nick Andrew 53% maybe. They've been taking most of the shots for both clubs.
But Toutle Lake has only shot 1 3. Remember, Toutle Lake averaging 77 points a ball game. Right now they've got only 20, and we've got a little less than 3.5 minutes to go before halftime. Down low to Skeeter, working on that ankle. Lost his balance, stays with it, doesn't get it to go down. Rebound, Andrew. Jeff Hayden working against Ryan Rundell. Looking for another pass down low, and Gravenhorst wasn't there to pick it off.
He wasn't looking for that one.
Chris Wheatley back into the ballgame for Toutle Lake, replacing Jeff Hayden. Yeah, taking the big guy down.
Boy, no kidding. I didn't think he had it in him.
Rundell looking for Hutchins, and he gets the ball back.
Boy, he's quick.
Nice in the corner to Skeeter, and he'll pull up and nail it.
Nice touch.
Well, if anything, nice to see a Jeff Skeeter in the ball game. You hate to miss out on your one opportunity, even though he is only a junior, to play in the state B final. As Gary Wick goes strong to the hoop and picks up the foul.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad of an injury, but it did look sore from what we saw earlier.
Well, it was sore enough last night that he missed most of the ball game in the win over Adna. As Gary Wick going up strong, and Hutchins picks up the foul.
41 in red.
Gary Wick, 5'10" senior. Into the ball game, back into the ball game is Matt Talbert for the Dayton Bulldogs. Gary Wick at about 9 points an average. He's already got 5, and he finds that one off the back of the iron.
We haven't seen many free throws in this game, just 4 fouls total so far, and we're in the second quarter.
Toutle Lake pulls to within 3, 24-21 Dayton. Talbert
He walked
with it. Fired up off the iron, no good. Rebound, and we've got a possession call.
Clay Hutchins getting up there like big brother Will on that play.
Possession arrow in favor of Toutle Lake. Fighting Ducks get the basketball. Chris Wheatley working against Clay Hutchins. Wheatley storms right by him, continues to go, almost walks on the baseline, and he did.
Trying to do too much.
Chris Wheatley a little bit out of control, trying to make something happen for his Fighting Ducks. They trail it by 3. Hutchins will fire in the long 3. That one a little bit short. Rebound to Toutle Lake.
We haven't really seen them get the ball to Nick Andrew in this quarter. Let's see if they try to do it on this possession.
Nor have we seen much from Kevin Gravenhorst, who averages about 17 points a game. Behind the back goes Nick Andrew, and he loses it. This is Talbot with the basketball. He'll pull up, draw the foul on number 4, Chris Wheatley.
Roughing the passer right there, maybe?
Eric Swanson in his 5th year at Toutle Lake. Had the team here at state last year.
Finished 4th.
And it's Chris Wheatley to the line is Matt Talbot. Pulls Dayton ahead by 4, 25-21, 1:38 left to go before halftime. This game is just whizzing by. I mean, it is scooting. Gravenhorst. Nice pressure.
A lot of contact.
Andrew gets away with a walk. Down low looking to Travis Sparks. They don't get it. Will Hutchins the other way. Tries to drive the lane. Does. Misses twice, and there. Gambala. Mike Gambala. And it's Dayton by 7.
Biggest lead of the ball game.
28-21, 102, and the Dayton fans are on their feet. Again, neither team has ever won the State B basketball title, although Dayton proud of its B11 football championship, and Eric Swanson getting in the face.
And very excellent at track at that Dayton, yes. Not a very happy man is Eric Swanson, talking to his team. They got away from giving the ball to Nick Andrew. That got them the lead in the first quarter, and they haven't had him in the paint much in the second quarter.
What a contrast in coaching styles here, huh?
As soon as the ball
Mr.
goes
Rogers, Jay Weber,
Yeah, Mr. Calm and cool and collected.
Of course, why not? He's got a 7-point lead with 102 left to go before halftime.
Yeah, if the lead was the other way, I think you'd see Jay a little bit more animated.
So far, the turnovers in favor of Dayton with only 4, Toutle Lake at 8.
Will Hutchins, Dan, having a great game so far for Dayton. 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals.
Well, again, he was a unanimous all-tournament selection at last year's State B tournament, and certainly, again, he will be selected to the all-tournament team. Gravenhorst gets the ball in, and Wheatley will bring it up. Hutchins steals it and then gets clobbered by Chris Wheatley. And I keep going back to that B11 football championship.
Hey, are we in the Kingdom?
And watch Wheatley just pound him right there.
I tell you right now, it's a matter of Dayton out hustling Toutle Lake. Dan, offensive rebounds. Dayton has 7, Toutle Lake's none, and right now on a 10-1 run are the Bulldogs.
28-21, under 1 minute to go before halftime.
Will Hutchins wanting that basketball for Dayton.
Well, Clay's got it now. They get it down to Will. Nice pass down low to Gambala. Too strong rebound, Nick Andrew, and again, they almost throw it away.
Toutle Lake right now played a little helter-skelter, a little out of sync.
Kilpinen. Gary Wick. Andrew will take the final shot of the half, and it's short, way short. After 16 minutes of basketball, the Dayton Bulldogs will go into the locker room with a 7-point lead, 28-21, and so far Will Hutchins has been the man for the Dayton Bulldogs as they take that 7-point lead into the locker room. And let's go to Tyree. He's got head coach Jay Weber.
Is he on? Got it.
Mike working at halftime. Toutle Lake scores a lot of points to get. You've got them down to 21 in the first 16 minutes of this ballgame.
Well, we just hope to continue to play good defense. That's been our trademark all year. We just got to come out and do it for 16 more minutes.
Well, you certainly look aggressive in the first 16 minutes. That's for sure. Got to be happy with your effort.
Oh, yeah. Our kids are playing hard.
Are you surprised in the second quarter that Toutle Lake got away from giving the ball to Nick Andrew?
Yeah, a little bit. They need to go to him, but I think part of it's we're playing pretty good defense on the inside, so I think that's part of it.
So you thought this would be basically a game of mirrored images. Has it turned out that way so far?
Well, it's a little slower pace than what I thought, but things are going our way.
All right, Jay. Jay Weber, the coach of the Dayton Bulldogs. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thank you, Ty. Normally a team would go into the locker room, but they're sticking around because they were also the academic champions. We'll talk more about that and what the Dayton Bulldogs have done in the classroom. But right now, they've got a 7-point lead, 28-21. We're at halftime. Back in a minute. The WIAA U.S. Bank State Beat Championship on Q6, your Northwest News channel, is brought to you by Smith's Home Furnishings, because nobody cares like Smith's. By Cenex Land O'Lakes, as your local cooperative partners you can trust. By Les Schwab Tire Center. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it. And by U.S. Bank, the home of all you need banking. Well, with no field goals in the last 5 minutes and 53 seconds, the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks are trailing at halftime to the Dayton Bulldogs, 28-21. Well, when a high school hires a new coach, it usually attracts a modest amount of attention. But when St. George's School of Spokane hired a new head coach this year for their boys basketball team, well, the school made headlines and history. She's tough.
That's our ball! That's our ball! No! That is our ball!
Intense. And all business on the sidelines. But when St. George's School installed 25-year-old Jennifer Mountain as a coach this year, they defied basketball tradition. Mountain is the only female head coach of a boys basketball team in the state.
And you guys are going before he has a chance to get back out and set the screen. You need to wait and look and wait for him to come. I don't think they knew what to expect. I didn't really know how they were going to react.
A standout player in college, Mountain ranks third on the all-time leading scorers list at Gonzaga. Armed with coaching experience at GU and Whitworth, she is qualified for the job, but others needed some convincing.
In the summer, if people did call, or people that we would see at summer league basketball games would say, well, how in the world did you hire a woman, or why would you, or, do you really think she can handle the guys?
I guess it was kind of weird at first, hearing that, we'd have a lady coach, but once we got into the season, most of the players, they didn't give her any trouble, and we all were very nice to her and she was nice to us, so we didn't have any problems with her.
A lot of people would ask me some really unrealistic questions about the locker room. You guys have got to get out there and rely on Jason getting down the post here, and you've got to get there quickly. Well, what is it like working with boys? What are you doing about the locker room? And well, the locker room is like, what do men do with the girls' teams? You know, it's those kind of things that came up really shocked me.
The Dragons and their coach knew only one way to silence the critics.
I think once we started winning, everything kind of calmed down. And I knew that would happen. If once we started winning, people would basically shut their mouths.
You gotta go get it right from the beginning. Tempo, control the tempo, okay? Team, 1, 2, 3, team, you can do this.
I think she hates to lose, and her style is controlled always, and she's very tight control of her emotions, but beneath the surface, they're burning.
She gets after it, and whenever she needs to, she'll come out and prove to us, you know, she can play with us, and she'll beat our guards up.
I don't go easy on them. I think that first they weren't, you know, it's a girl, better not hit her. But then once I hit them, they decided, oh, I'll get her back. To me, it's not a boy-girl thing. It's just another coaching job, so I didn't even think twice about it.
And Jennifer Mountain's first year as head coach was quite a success. The St. George's boys made it to district for only the 4th time since 1974, and they were only 1 game away from qualifying for the State B tournament. At halftime, Dayton by 7, 28-21. Back with more. The Dayton Bulldogs halfway there to their first state basketball title on the B level. They lead the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks 28-21. Ty Ray is at courtside with a special guest. Ty?
Thank you, Dan. I'm here with Gene Johnson, a representative of U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank pretty much makes this tournament possible, as well as other high school athletic events in our area. They've been involved for 8 years in sponsoring WIAA events. I can get it out of my mouth, Gene. Why is U.S. Bank involved?
Well, I think the first reason is that we like the kids. The kids are what the future is, and that's where it's going to be. You know, it's great to have our name in the sponsorship, but quite frankly, if we can be around the kids, they're the future for our country and for our own communities. This is the way we can be involved with them.
What is really the most rewarding experience that you personally get out of it?
Well, for me, not only is it fun to be able to present the trophies and see the kids interact with each other and the communities, but I love being able to present these awards, particularly the academics. Each year, each event, we present an academic award for those achievers in the school that are also the athletes. And as you've heard, there's been some tremendous numbers on the grade point averages.
What about the future as far as U.S. Bank's involvement with WIAA athletics? What do you see?
Well, I think we enjoy this relationship with WIAA, and from what I understand, we will continue with that. It's been a great relationship.
And it's just not basketball. There are plenty of other events they include as well.
Very much so. I don't think people realize that we're involved in dance and choir and drill teams, debate.
My favorite.
Oh, yes. And you know, besides all of the other sports, I believe there are 18 of them that the bank sponsors along with WIAA.
Gene, a pleasure visiting with you. Now back to you, Dan.
All right, you were talking about the academics. Well, no one hit the books any harder and did it any better than the Dayton Bulldogs. We saw them being presented at halftime. Before they went into the locker room to talk about the basketball game, they first had to accept the trophy as academic champions. And what a great group of young men they have down there in Dayton. Their cumulative grade point average is a whopping 3.6. So congratulations to the Dayton Bulldogs, this year's boys academic champions. We are at halftime, 28-21, and check out some of the first half highlights for the Dayton Bulldogs. But Lioness getting the ball to Will Hutchins. It's been an incredible first half for Will Hutchins as he turns in the paint, and he has indeed led the Bulldogs to this 7-point lead. But Toutle Lake able to stay close thanks to their hustle and their transition game. Able to get to the basket is number 23, Gary Wick. But so far, it's been the Dayton Bulldogs with a 7-point lead, 28-21. Both teams are back out on the floor. We'll have the second half right after this. The WIAA U.S. Bank State B Championship on Q6, your Northwest News channel. is brought to you by Smith's Home Furnishings, because nobody cares like Smith's. By Cenex Land O'Lakes, as your local cooperative partners you can trust. By Les Schwab Tire Center. If we can't guarantee it, we won't sell it. And by U.S. Bank, the home of all you need banking. Well, so far the numbers on the scoreboard have favored Dayton with a 28-21 lead. And looking at the halftime statistics, do they favor the Bulldogs in every category?
I'll tell you, the rebounds to me are the big story in this game, Dan. Offensive rebounds, Dayton 7, Toutle Lake 0. 8 points scored off of Dayton's rebounds. There is your difference in the ball game on the scoreboard.
Start of the second half, it's 28-21 at Dayton. 16 minutes away from their first B basketball title. Again, they won the B11 football championship against Toutle Lake just last December. Same starting five, and again, it's Hutchins off the front of the rim, and it won't go down, but the rebound by Jeremy Hubbard. And Hubbard will go to the free throw line to shoot two. You can see why both these teams were successful in football. I mean, these kids,
they're rough. I was talking to Coach Weber about that, and they just dive for loose balls. They do what it takes to get the job done. Reckless abandon, I think it's called.
That and a lot of talent.
Yeah, that too.
Hubbard nails the second one. Lead goes up to 8. Pressure by Ryan Rundell.
Boy, he's quick.
On Chris Wheatley, but he's going to be a little bit too quick, and he gets the call on the body.
Big track star in Dayton, Ryan Rundell.
Just a little bit too much body here.
Not that quick enough to get out in front of him.
Well, he's not afraid to get in there, is he?
He'll get in your face.
Toutle Lake will hang on to the basketball.
Will Hutchins is not careful, end up with a quadruple double. Rate he's going. Yeah, got a little bit on the hand there.
Little hand action right there. And while we were away, we got a whistle and a foul, and big Nick Andrew will go to the free throw line. He's a 6'5" senior, and he is the leading scorer for this Toutle Lake Fighting Duck team.
Had an excellent first quarter, but Dan, in the second quarter, pretty much quiet quarter for Mr. Andrew.
Cuts it down to 7. It's 6. 29-23 Dayton. Rundell gets it back up top. Gimbala. Mike Gimbala, sophomore. Talbot, quarterback on the old football team. Got Gimbala. There's Hutchins.
He is just everywhere.
He took the words right out of my mouth. He really is. Inside, outside, Will Hutchins.
He wants the ball, he wants the rebound, he wants to block shots.
And he wants to win, and so far it's an 8-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs, 31-23. Almost stolen by Talbot. Got a whistle and a foul.
And then this is just an observation on my part, but I haven't seen, I should say, Nick Andrew in the paint at all.
Yeah, they'll give that foul to Jeremy Hubbard on the body, and going to the free throw line is Greg Kilpinen, 6-foot senior, averaging 13 points a ball game.
And it seems to me, Dan, that when Toutle Lake was most successful in the game is when they were posting up Nick Andrew down low. But we'll see if they go back to that.
Hutchins along the baseline, almost got it despite the fact that he put that shot up while he was going down. And we've got a whistle and a foul. Gets around the corner and
steps on
no doubt about it, Nick Andrews'
foot, and nearly made the shot.
Will Hutchins, 22 points a ball game. He's 6'3". He's a senior. probably going to play college basketball somewhere next year.
Believe it or not, Hutchins' first free throws of the night, despite the fact he's been shooting the ball primarily for Dayton.
And 2 more on the board. It's 33-25. The Dayton Bulldogs up by 8. Wheatley will stop and pop.
Big hoop. They needed that one. They really needed that one.
Quickly, though, Dayton wastes little time, gets up, and it's Hubbard at the other end.
Jeremy.
Took all of about 3 seconds to convert.
Beating Nick Andrew back on offense. And Ryan Rundell with his quickness.
Talbert to Hutchins. Not that time. Kilpinen on the board. Wheatley will bring it up. Andrew.
I think Jeremy Hubbard will give Andrew that shot. It's a little bit too far away from the basket.
Bulldogs up by 8. Less than 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And looks like Hutchins will pick up a personal foul. We want to remind you that tonight's episode of Sisters will not be seen tonight because you're watching a great basketball game. But we're told it will be seen next Saturday at 4 p.m. on Q6, and we understand it's the one episode you don't want to miss.
I've got my VCR set.
So we hope you're enjoying basketball with the brothers, and we'll watch Sisters next Saturday, 4 p.m. right here on Q6. We'll have that show for you. Back to basketball, 35-27. Dayton comes up with the basketball. Gambala goes baseline. Nothing there. Kick it out to Hutchins. They'll start all over again. Again, there is no shot clock for boys basketball. Skeeter from the corner.
That ankle's looking good.
Well, he didn't even go into the locker room at halftime. He sat on the Bulldog bench and iced that sore ankle. And apparently it's working for him as he comes up with the loose basketball quickly ahead to Rundell. And he'll fire it in.
Eric Swanson wants a timeout.
39-27, the largest lead of the night for the Dayton Bulldogs. 4:42, their fans are on their feet.
Right now, Toutle Lake, Dan, in a serious shooting drought. In roughly the last 9 minutes, 1 field goal made. 1 basket, that's it. This is a team that averages 77 points a game on the year.
Well, we've seen the great shots by Dayton, but it's no question the defensive end by Dayton that is bothering Toutle Lake. As Fighting Duck head coach Eric Swanson has not been a happy man all evening.
Well, he certainly didn't devise a magic formula at halftime to get the lid off the basket, that's for sure.
And I don't think you can underestimate the emotional lift that Jeff Skeeter has given this ballgame club. Certainly very questionable for the start of the ball game, but he's been able to come up with a couple of clutch baskets, and he's on that last shot came up with a loose ball, and he's had a fine ball game.
Look at this, Dan. Dayton points off turnovers. The Bulldogs 6 points. Toutle Lake 0. This half.
Gravenhorst will inbound the ball, and he has been silenced. Stolen by Hutchins right back up.
You don't want that to happen coming off a timeout.
Oh my, it's a 14-point lead, and Toutle Lake's got to get a basket here before this one slips away.
And the Dayton fans are definitely into it now.
41-27, 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Gravenhorst, again, he's been silent all night long, averaging 18 points a ball game, and that shot won't go down. Toutle hits the boards, but Hutchins comes away with it.
They just can't get anything going offensively.
Gambala out to Rundell. Skeeter again. And they'll look for Hutchins in the corner.
You can't give him that. When it rains, it pours.
44-27.
20 points now. 20 for Hutchins.
Averages about 22 points a ball game. Do you think he'll get that other 2? Andrew underneath does not end the drought.
Hutchins with the board. The guy is simply everywhere. Dayton right now in the midst of an 11-0 run. Make it 14-0, Dan.
And that baby came from about 22.5 feet out. We've got another timeout called by Toutle Lake. and suddenly it is a 20-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs. 47-27, 3:30 left to go in the third quarter, and the Dayton fans can't get enough of this.
They're just going nuts. I'll tell you, Hutchins now, Dan, 3 of his 23 right there, 10 rebounds, 5 steals, a couple of block shots that we've seen earlier in the game. You know, hey, if this game's over right now, he's no question the MVP, but that's a little bit premature.
Boy, that baby was right on from the top of the key. He was right on. And again, that wasn't a college three-pointer from about 20. That one came from close to 23 feet out. And again, the Dayton Bulldog fans sensing another championship for their Bulldogs after the football championship back in December. Can they pull off the doubleheader and come away with the state B title in basketball?
It's very critical, Dan, that Toutle Lake come out of this timeout and get some points on the board to stop this run. Thing has just got out of hand here in the third quarter.
Head coach Jay Weber says let's back off just a bit on the pressure, but here they come with it anyways. 20 points, Toutle Lake, the Fighting Ducks, got to get fighting mad right here. They trail 47-27. Sparks. Gravenhorst.
Just great defense.
Anything from Kevin Gravenhorst.
Good defense by Dayton, denying, although
Skeeter gets called for reaching in.
Dayton, Dan, a 14-0 run to blow this thing open.
Let's check with our stats and see where Gravenhorst, how many points is he tonight? Number 5, Kevin Gravenhorst, averaging 17 points a ball game, and right now with only 3.
All those in the first half.
Jeff Hayden into the corner, and there's Gravenhorst, and he gets that. They're going to need those baskets from Kevin Gravenhorst to get back into this ball game.
Couple threes, that's for sure.
Now we'll see if the Dayton Bulldogs are content to slow it down just a bit to protect that 17-point lead. Not normally their style of basketball. Hutchins.
Oh, he's human.
That one didn't miss by much.
No, it didn't.
It was in and it was out. And frustration sets in.
We've seen that a lot tonight. A lot of miscommunication on Toutle Lake's part.
Greg Kilpinen will step into the ball game, replacing Travis Sparks. 17-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs. 2:15 left to go, third quarter. Ten-second call. He only needed to get a few more inches over.
He just stopped his dribble too soon. Yeah, didn't have any help coming back.
That play's only a sophomore.
Even Coach Weber thought that was pretty funny.
Life is grand when you're 17.
Yes, it is.
Wheatley driving hard. He gets tied up almost by Hutchins. They get it inside to Andrew and nothing there. Again, Jeff Skeeter with the rebound on the bad wheels, playing a whale of a basketball game. Hutchins, yes.
Boy, you can't let Hutchins penetrate that far in and get a pass. He'll kill you.
Lead goes back up to 19. The dish to Andrew, basket in the whistle.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Dan, I think that is the first basket by Nick Andrew in the paint since the first quarter.
Started out strong, but then the stranglehold defense. And we've got a timeout in the action as we see Nick Andrew going up strong and getting the call.
Of course, you've got to get the ball before you can score. And Dayton just playing some solid defense tonight. The intensity has been with them throughout the first 3 quarters of this ball game.
Hard to believe, 32 points scored by Toutle Lake, a team that has averaged 77 points a ball game, and we've only got 1 minute and 34 seconds left in the third quarter.
Dayton really getting down and dirty in this one, diving for loose balls. Players virtually coming out of nowhere at times to make big plays. Will Hutchins, his brother Clay having a whale of a game. Second half points, Dan. Will Hutchins leads Toutle Lake 14-11.
Really impressed by the attitude of Dayton, very workmanlike, very businesslike, not letting their emotions get too high or too low.
Playing like champions, really.
They really are. All right, Nick Andrew to the free throw line, down by 17. Well, the crowd certainly has enjoyed this basketball game. The final basketball game in the old Coliseum as they get ready to tear it down and move over to the Veterans Memorial Arena next year.
Girls and boys sharing the same building next season.
And Andrew converts. Puts it down to 14. Minute 30 left to go in the third. Hutchins.
Making sure he gets over the timeline.
Lyonnaise in the corner to Hutchins, to his brother. Little bro, got it.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Big bro to little bro, and it's 52-35 Dayton Bulldogs.
We haven't heard a whole lot about Clay coming into this game, but he certainly had a heck of a game himself.
Talbot set to come into the ball game for the Bulldogs. Kilpinen puts it down low. There's Andrew.
Gets it to Andrew in the paint once again.
Jeff Skeeter a little bit disappointed in himself that he let that one slip by. Whistle on the foul. They're going to call traveling. No foul. Talbot checks in for the Dayton Bulldogs, along with Gary Wick for the Fighting Ducks.
Now, if Dayton could get it within, or Toutle Lake, I should say, could get it under 10 points going into the fourth quarter, they'll have a decent chance of winning this ball game, considering they were down by 20 to start this third quarter.
Dayton inside, battered away by the Bulldogs. Gimbala to the younger Hutchins. Talbot likes the shot. Why not?
Touchdown.
Put the three on the board, and it's back to a 20-point lead, 55-35. Wow, and here's the steal. And the foul by Gary Wick.
Really had no choice.
Had this been late in the game, it would have been called an intentional foul, but with 11 ticks left.
Looks like a lot of ball there, but also a lot of body.
Bud Lyonnaise will step to the line, 5'8" junior. Ryan Rundell checks back in for the Bulldogs. Gimbala will sit down. Ticks left in the third. It's a 20-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs, 55-35. Again, this is the last tournament for the Bees for the Dayton Bulldogs. With an enrollment of 200 students, they will be moving up next year to the A classification. Something tells me they'll be successful there too.
Yeah, if they have this kind of intensity, you bet they will.
Well, they've got 4 seconds to work with. We saw the Adna Pirates pull out a victory with 4 seconds left. Let's see if they can get one shot off. Gravenhorst in the corner, too much. Doesn't get the bounce, and replay 3. 8 minutes of basketball left here in the boys state B championship. 56-35, Dayton. Well, we'd like you to know that tonight's regularly scheduled episode of Sisters will not be seen because you're watching great basketball. Exclusive live coverage of State B Championships here on Q6. However, we understand the episode of Sisters will be seen next Saturday at 4 p.m. So make plans now, 4 p.m. Sisters here on Q6. We start the fourth quarter. It's 56-35. The Dayton Bulldogs by 21. Quickly up court to Matt Talbot. And oh boy, this baby could be over in just a few minutes.
That's not the way they wanted to start the fourth quarter, that's for sure.
Kilpinen comes down, back out to Andrew. He'll set and fire it in. Lyonnaise better get rid of it, and he does. Talbot.
Dayton on a 25-10 run at this juncture.
Hutchins, nice pass down low to Hubbard.
And nobody on it.
Jeremy Hubbard. And it's a 23-point Dayton lead, 60-37. Closing in on 7 minutes left to go in the ballgame. Hayden.
45, push, white ball.
And you could probably hear that here. Number 45, Jeremy Hubbard, picks up the foul. Back into the ball game for Toutle Lake is Chris Wheatley, as Jeff Hayden sits down. And Toutle Lake now into the bonus. Out of the ballgame, Jeremy Hubbard comes out. Skeeter back in. Toutle Lake in the bonus now.
That ankle feels real good with a 23-point lead.
Had no problem running.
12 points for Jeremy Hubbard.
Toutle Lake in the bonus. It's a 1-on-1 situation. Nick Andrew hits the first. But they're going to need a lot more than just free throws to close this gap in the next 7-5 minutes. They need kids like Gravenhorst to get hot.
They need some three balls.
Greg Kilpinen under his average of 13 points. Hutchins. Talbot passing the ball around like a quarterback, and Hutchins
There's no way he's going to miss that from under 15 feet out.
Nothing there. Gravenhorst, right spot.
Look what I found.
Still to go. Andrew gets the foul. A little bit of shoving going on between Talbot and Nick Andrew.
Andrew perhaps a little frustrated at this point in the game. It looks like they locked arms there. Maybe there's a little squabble that goes back to the football game. Who knows?
Yeah, Mike Talbot's going to sit down. Matt Talbot's going to sit down. Mike Mbala back into the ball game for the Dayton Bulldogs, and some high fives for Matt Talbot. He's a senior. Boy, what a senior year, boy. You win the state championship in B11 football as a quarterback, and you come away with the state B title in basketball.
You got baseball yet to come. Of course, we don't know if he plays that.
Who knows?
Track?
Probably.
That's Ryan Rundell's bag.
Andrew nails the second. 62-40, a 22-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs.
Boy, he's quick.
6.5 minutes to go on the turnover. Here come the Fighting Ducks. Down low, Hutchins with the steal. Looked up court, nothing there. Skeeter.
Things getting a little rough and tumble out here.
Bud Lyonnaise. Rundell. The foul on Wick with the body.
At this point, really no alternative for Toutle Lake. You've got to do something. You can't just let them stand around and pass the ball around with 6:05 left on the clock, down by 22 points.
They've got 2 more fouls to give, but only 4. It takes 7 to go to the free throw line. 6 minutes even left to go in this State B basketball season. Nice pass down low. Hutchins turn around, not quite enough. Rebound, Gravenhorst. Gravenhorst had a wonderful tournament up until now. The first 3 games doing quite well, but silent tonight. He's a perimeter shooter. Just closed the knot on it.
Credit Dayton's defense.
And the possession in favor of Dayton. Talbot back into the ball game, replacing Lyonnaise. (62-40). It's been a frustrating night for Toutle Lake head coach Eric Swanson and the gang.
Really a close game up until halftime.
Hutchins, Mbala, 2 more on the board.
You know what's really impressed me, Dan, about Dayton is how well-conditioned they are. Here we are in the 4th quarter. You think it's the 1st quarter, the way they're getting up and down the floor.
Well, it's been their style all year long to move up and down. The transition game has been a big part of their success this year, and certainly we've seen it tonight, and you would expect them to be in top-notch conditions. Gravenhorst misses that shot, and here come the Bulldogs, looking more like Greyhounds. 2 more. 26-point lead.
Really, what do you do at this point?
Ask you to stay tuned for Q6 News. Coming up.
There you go. No, you pray for a 26-point shot of some kind.
goes up and draws the foul. Well, looking ahead to the future for the Dayton Bulldogs, several players coming back, but head coach Jay Weber will lose Ryan Rundell, a senior. Jeff Skeeter's a junior. Will Hutchins is a senior. Matt Talbot will graduate as well, along with Jeremy Hubbard. Jeff Skeeter comes off, has played a gutsy ball game for the Dayton Bulldogs. Nick Andrew at the stripe, where he has been several times tonight. 6'5" senior.
21 points for Andrew.
Now 22.
So over half
his average.
their points scored by Andrew, talking about Toutle Lake.
Well, it's just been the lack of the perimeter game. I mean, Kevin Grayman-Horst has been awfully quiet. Nice pass down low, and Talbot there knocks it home. Excuse me, Jeremy Hubbard knocks it home.
They just can't get anything to fall at this point.
Hutchins stripped. Kilpinen on the break, and Andrews is, I don't know what, I'm not sure what he was doing with that.
I don't know, but that was the first sign of some sort of break that we've seen from Toutle Lake in a long, long time.
Now there's a timeout in the action, 68-42. 3:50 left to go before we crown a champion here in the old barn. We're back in a minute. Back with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the ball game. 68-42, Dayton with a huge lead against the Toutle Lake Fighting Ducks. And Ty, you've been following the girls' action for us on Q6 from the State B tournaments, and this is your first opportunity that you've been able to see Will Hutchins in action. Your thoughts?
Well, the coach described him perfectly, Jay Weber. He said he can do it all, and we have seen him at all ends of the floor. Perimeter game, inside game, rebounding, block shots, great defense. What more can you ask from a player? And he's only, it's not like this guy's 6'7", 6'8". We're talking a 6'3" ball player here, and he plays like he's 6'6", 6'7". And his little bro, Clay, no slouch either. He's out there hustling.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised that Will hasn't gotten more looks from some universities than what we've heard that...
couple JCs looking at him.
I know Whitworth College is interested, but certainly a kid 6'3" who can handle the ball pretty well. Maybe a little bit small, obviously, for the forward position, but maybe a strong wing player.
Sure is speedy. And like you said, he has some spring in those legs.
Taking some time off the clock. Don't have to worry about a shot clock in high school basketball for the boys. Closing in on 3 minutes to go in the ball game. It's a 26-point lead for the Dayton Bulldogs. Trying to pull off the sweep of State B titles in both football and basketball. Now the Dayton Bulldog version of the four corner.
Boy, Dean Smith would be proud right now, Dan.
He's got Hutchins trapped in the corner, but he gets it back out. 2.5 minutes to go. Could be substitution time real quick for head coach Jay Weber.
They're going to have to start fouling here or something.
Well, with no shot clock, you'd certainly think there's really no other way to stop the clock. Dayton doing a wonderful job.
Dan, Dayton now has held the ball for 1:30, and sure enough, a whistle.
Yeah, they'll call Travis Sparks for pushing.
There's your story. Toutle Lake, 16 turnovers in the contest. Dayton doing a much better job of controlling the ball with only 7 turnovers. Of course, credit the Bulldogs' tenacious defense in creating many of those Fighting Duck turnovers.
Ryan Rundell back into the ball game for head coach Jay Weber. Andrew powers his way in for two. Good ball game for Nick Andrew.
Yeah, he's scored more than half their points, and they've been very successful when they've been able to find him in the paint, but that hasn't happened too often in this contest.
And there's the fouls. Talbot picks it up, and it will be indeed substitution time for the Dayton Bulldogs. John Skidmore checks in, along with Justin Steinhoff. Steinhoff and Skidmore a chance to see some minutes at the State B tournament. Skidmore a junior, Steinhoff a senior.
Dan, I think the one thing that I'm most impressed with Dayton, besides how well conditioned they are, I like their composure. I mean, their faces really haven't changed from the first minute to here we are in the final 2 minutes of this contest. And we said it earlier, they've just played like champions throughout. Not once ever losing control out there on the court, always knowing where they're supposed to be, head in the ball game.
1:32 left to go in the ball game. Ryan Rundell, we mentioned before, an outstanding track star for the Bulldogs, misses the front end of that shot. But the Dayton Bulldogs will join the Wishkah Valley Lagerettes, State B champions. The countdown begins now on this boys basketball final. Andrew trying to pad his total for the evening. Officials perhaps going to let him play out.
Nice move.
Here. Well, it has been an impressive evening for the Dayton Bulldogs. They've done just about everything right. They've hit their shots, pressure defense. Jay Weber and his staff have to be awfully pleased with what they've seen tonight.
His kids did not let up for 1 single minute. I mean, I cannot remember a Toutle Lake run of any kind in this ballgame. Maybe at the start of things, but that was it.
And let's not forget, this is a very good Toutle Lake ball club. They're a team that beat Sprague Harrington last night in the semifinals, 67-65.
Averaging 77 points a ball game. And at this point, they have 46. We've got 25 seconds left in the game. Dayton's defense taking it to the Fighting Ducks tonight.
And time now for head coach Jay Weber to clear his bench, and high fives for the starters. And what a great senior campaign it's been for that young man, Will Hutchins.
Dan tonight, 27 points.
Rundell misses the shot. Robert Carlton in the ball game for Dayton, along with Bud Lyonnaise. And the rebound to Ryan Rundell. 10 seconds. And Toutle Lake will let him play out the string. The Dayton Bulldogs are champions.
Jay Weber getting the Gatorade treatment.
Well, they've pulled off the double. Champions in B11 football, champions in State B basketball. Congratulations to the Dayton Bulldogs. We'll hear from the champs in just a minute. Well, everyone wants a piece of the gold ball, and tonight it belongs to the Dayton Bulldogs. An impressive victory tonight over Toutle Lake, 68-46, as the Dayton Bulldogs pull off the sweet double in State B athletics. They win the State B11 championship in December, and they come right back and win the State B basketball title. Ty Ray is somewhere in the middle of all the commotion. Ty?
Well, a heck of a ball game. 27 points. Check out these stats. 27 points, 13 rebounds, 7 steals, 3 blocks, 3 assists. You really couldn't ask for a better performance in a bigger contest.
I've been waiting all week for this one, and I'm just fortunate I played well tonight.
How does it feel to go out your senior year and do this?
It's what I dream about. It's what dreams are made of. I've been dreaming about it all my life.
And what's the mood on the team? Obviously, you didn't expect to win this big. That has to be even more icing on the cake for you guys this year.
This is great. We never felt this way before in my life.
What really did it in this ball game? We expected a much closer game, and you really blew it open in the second half.
Our defense. Our defense gets us going. It has all season, and it really got done tonight.
You really didn't let up at all either in the first, second, third, fourth quarter. You had the same face on throughout the entire game. What do you credit that to?
Hey, Tootle's dangerous. They got a lot of weapons, and we knew we couldn't let up for a second, or they'd come right back in it.
And good effort all around by everybody on the team, just not yourself.
Team had a great night. Everybody on the team had a great night.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Dan.
Well, a fine performance from Will Hutchins. Listen to the numbers. For the tournament now, 23 steals. This is over 4 ball games. Free throws, 22 out of 28. 77 points, 27 points tonight for Will Hutchins. Rebounds, 30 for the tournament, and 13 alone. An impressive night for not only Will Hutchins, but the entire Dayton Bulldog squad as they come away with a victory, 68-46. We'll have some final thoughts right after this. The WIAA U.S. Bank State Beat Championship on Q6, your Northwest News channel, is brought to you by Horizon Air, with Horizon shuttle flights to Seattle and Portland every hour. By Thrift Quality Foods and Food City, committed to keeping our community strong. By Camp Chevrolet Geo, Division and Ruby at Montgomery. And by U.S. Bank, the home of all you need banking. Surprising that any net is left the way the Dayton Bulldogs burn them tonight on their way to a 68-46 victory over Toutle Lake. Ty Ray has a very happy head coach in Jay Weber.
Amazing. That really is. And the grade point average. You got Dan. I'm here with Jay Weber, coach of the state beat champion Dayton Bulldogs. And coach, one thing I couldn't believe is how much your team kept up their tenacious defense for the full 4 quarters.
Yeah, when we played tough defense most of the time, but when Will starts hitting the three-pointers and we build it, I think the kids kind of sensed that we were opening it up and they had a chance to win the state championship, and that just made them play harder.
Well, you can't coach that. You must be just kicking back in your chair, hands behind your head when Will's that hot.
I didn't do much as a coach. It's just, you just got to credit the kids that we had. Obviously, we've got loads of talent. We're winning the state football championship. We're winning state basketball. It's not a whole lot that the coach did. We just got great kids.
What surprised you the most about the game? Obviously, you win by 22 points, but other than the margin of victory, what really stands out in your mind?
I think it really hurt them when the grabbing horse kid sprained his ankle last night. He just didn't have the quickness that they had previously, and I think that kind of carried over a little bit for them.
Affected his perimeter shooting?
Yeah, but I think it also had an effect on the entire team for them.
So now is the pressure on the baseball coach? You've won a football title, you've won a basketball title. What are you going to tell the baseball coach now?
Have a good season.
Okay, back to you, Dan.
The pressure is on. You know, this was a close ball game at 33-27. Then the 14-0 run highlighted by 8 straight points by Will Hutchins, and that was pretty much the ball game. It's been a great night of championship basketball here on Q6. Congratulations to the Dayton Bulldogs. The boys of Dayton are the State B Boys champion. The Wishka Valley girls are your State B Girls champion. It's been a wonderful night. We thank you so much for watching the final chapter of the Spokane Coliseum, as we say so long, from the old Boone Street Barn. We will join Top Cops in progress. Good night.